Hello, everybody. Welcome to the honestly out of left field first episode of the Unfiltered podcast. I'm not as lively as usual. I'm your host, Jake Kempf, Jake Howell, J.K. Howell, whatever you want to call me. Basically, this is not just about wrestling. Most folks know me from wrestling. This is not a wrestling podcast strictly. Many things can be discussed here. And what's a podcast? A good one without a good first guess. And I think I certainly have it. You may know him as Captain Law, as Jackson Law. I know him as Dale Litton. Dale Litton, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? I don't know why I went fucking Southern draw on that. Don't ask me. I can cuss on this, right?
I don't give a shit. This is the Unfiltered podcast.
I was gonna say it's a little late to ask that, but the content filters, all that good shit.
Well, I'm doing somewhat fine. We had a bit of scary weather here in my little vacation spot here in South Carolina. Level 5 tornado almost hit us and had to hide in the shower, but that's in the past.
What a fun vacation that is.
Well, I mean, I've been here for about 2 weeks and hanging out with my sister. My sister and a friend. It's beautiful in South Carolina, but I will never dismiss the Tennessee sunset. But I guess I want to ask, I guess since this is a podcast about everything, I think we should start with what we're probably both best known for, and that's wrestling. How did you get into wrestling?
Well, obviously, the obvious answer. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so
Okay.
Been doing or around wrestling my entire life. When I was a little kid, me and my parents used to go down to Dale Hollow or some kind of campground near Southern Indiana. If I'm not mistaken, it was Southern Indiana, and they used to have this indie show that would come in and run. It was what Jim Cornette would define as an outlaw mud show to the highest extent. Right? These people's ring bells were a pan with a metal spoon. That was their ring bell, right? And they would come in on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, they would come out and run a show. And the one thing I remember is jumping for joy when one of the hottest women's wrestlers I've ever seen at that time came out to the ring. And she came out with Redneck Woman by Gretchen Wilson, and she was the Redneck Woman. And she was one of the hottest women's wrestlers I can remember from back then. But of course, I was like 5 or 6. So, but still, I remember her vividly. And I cannot find any tapes or anything from back then. And I wish I could, because they used to have some wild ass matches.
This kind of brings up a different thing. Like we talk about outlaw indie mud shows, a bit of a side tangent here. But I remember an indie show that I went to. It was near the Kentucky border, and you're sitting in the audience. It's like a late November, and there was no heating in this building. It was really cold. And,
lovely.
There were some matches, pretty good matches, and then this guy sits beside me, and he looks kind of like New Jack, but he was not New Jack. He was almost like a New Jack clone.
The butterfly effect.
It might actually have been New Jack. I really don't know, but he was called the Psycho Medic. He was this big scary man. He was really scary. But so you go to the indie shows, and then you get into backyard wrestling, which is how'd you get into backyard wrestling?
So, as a kid, one of my I wasn't subscribed to very many YouTube channels, right?
Oh, yeah. And
for the longest time, I didn't know backyard wrestling existed. 100% all these channels that are out here didn't even know they existed. I actually got into watching EBW. Lake Lewis, Cruz Lewis, Ryan, all of them guys. And my first introduction to backyard wrestling was them. And then, obviously, through the BWE or BWU, whatever they were with TBW, I got into TBW.
Oh, yeah.
And for the longest time, TBW and EBW were the only backyard wrestling companies I knew existed. Then I found GTS. And I found GTS before GTS was GTS you see now.
Oh, yeah.
I watched GTS before they got a ring, before Grimm was wrestling a fucking John Cena doll on a trampoline.
Same here.
But I got to watching EBW and all that, and then me and my cousin Nick, y'all would know him as Night Go Vibe if you watch any of our content.
Mm-hmm.
He and I got into a little bit of heat. You know, we're cousins. We piss and bicker and fight all that shit all the time.
Of course.
And we started going back and forth on our YouTube channels. He'd drop something on there dissing me. I'd drop something dissing him. He'd react to me dissing him and then diss me, and back and forth, back and forth. And for like a year, we built up, and we both would wrestle each other in a basement anyway. So we said, fuck it, we'll film that shit, and that's how we'll settle our beef. Because that was right as diss tracks transitioned out and YouTubers started boxing each other. And I thought, what better way to gain some clout than two YouTubers wrestling each other? Mind you, I'm 14 or 15. I didn't realize that we didn't mean shit for chat to anybody. So me and Nick go and spend the night at my sister's house because she had this big ass basement. We lay all of the blankets we can find on the floor. We lay a layer of pillows on top of that, and then we lay more blankets on top of it, and we have a match on hard concrete, unfinished basement floor with pillows and blankets for the mat. And it's one of the worst matches you will ever see, and you could still go and see it on my YouTube channel.
I might just do that.
It's one of my oldest videos, if I didn't unlist it already when I was supposed to go pro. But anyway, so that match ended up being for the quote-unquote Wild West Championship, because at the time, I was the Nerf Melee champion. I'm that champion again, but that's a completely different hobby of mine. And at the time, the Nerf club I run, we had the Wild West Championship because it's a game mode. It's Wild West. It's basically just a draw duel. You both have a pistol. When the referee says draw, you turn around. First person to land a shot wins.
Good old-fashioned cowboy games.
Exactly. That's why it's called Wild West. And I had the Wild West Championship. Nick, during an attack, stole it from me.
Oh.
So he was the Wild West champion. But when he left my house, he left the belt at my house. So I stripped him of the belt, put the belt on a teddy bear, destroyed the teddy bear with a razor's edge, and then pinned the teddy bear. Took the Wild West Championship. Then then the Wild West Championship turned into my WWE replica I've got on my wall, my network logo. We fought for that. It was an upside-down WWE belt. We fought for that. We had a contract signing and ended up doing the contract signing in the match in the same video because we're stupid. But that is still one of the highest viewed videos on my main channel. And what's funny is we took that video and uploaded it on both mine and Nick's channel with the same tag, same title, everything. And mine got triple the views his did.
Oh.
Don't ask me how the algorithm worked. Mine got more than triple the views. I think his is sitting at maybe 100, and mine's up over 400 or 500 at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But that of course has been like 3 years ago now. And then when we kind of remedied whatever the shit we had going on between us, we ended up being like, we really enjoyed doing that. We want to do it for more on YouTube, but we were like, what do we have now? We've already done our feud. We can't keep going back and forth on each other's channels. So we made the UAW channel. And Nick and me got into another spat, but this time he was just like, fuck it, I quit, I don't want to do it no more. And he left UAW. So I started doing UAW VGW on that channel because I couldn't do the backyard wrestling by myself and I had no one else to wrestle.
Oh,
so I start making the world title because I was always supposed to be the first world champion, so long as Nick could be the first United States champion because he loves the U.S. title. That is his favorite title. That's always been his favorite title. He's a mid-card guy. He's never loved the world title.
Question. Which version of the U.S. title?
I don't know his particular preference. I know we both grew up on the one that looks like a badge,
which is
from WWE.
IMO underrated design.
It's a good design, but I don't like the new one. The new one is slowly growing on me. But when I first saw it, I thought it would have made a better cruiserweight title.
I will agree. Okay, so speaking of belts, you are big into belts. You make belts. You design belts. tell me a little bit about that. Like, how'd you get into belt making? Like, what? Like, was it from UAW and was it from?
Yep.
Yeah.
So actually, it wasn't UAW. It was my Nerf hobby.
Oh.
Because I was walking around calling myself the Melee Champion. Now, me obviously having been a wrestling fan, I was like, I gotta have a belt if I'm calling myself a champion.
Yeah.
So I went out, got a cardboard box from my garage, went to Walmart, bought gold paint, paper plates, and sticky foam. And it hangs on my wall now, and you can go back and find the promos because they're still on my YouTube channel.
One day you got to show me that belt.
I will indeed. And I made the Melee Championship. My dad printed out a picture of swords, crossed swords. I made the Melee Championship. It says Melee Champ. The side plates are blue X's that used to be foam crosses, but I had to cut the tips off, if you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then triangles beside the X's. I had a killer design, and it kind of came together. Didn't work out as good. But then I made the V2 of it, and the V2 is fucking badass, made out of wood. Anyway, so that translated into making a belt, and the strap for it I actually traced off of the only belt I had at the time that was full size, which was my spinner belt.
Quick question.
Yep.
Side note, what do you think of the spinner belt? Because it's a very controversial championship belt. What do you think about the spinner belt?
So, I know the spinner belt gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But it's the belt I grew up on, man. I can't hate it as much as I want to, because when you think pristine, prestigious championship, you think 4 or 5 millimeters stacked, the logo stacked in the middle, there's a coin on the top, it's all decorative, it's gemmed out, there's side plates that look just as classy as the main plate, and then John Cena comes out with a fucking belt that spins.
That is true. And okay, a bit of a little sidebar here. On the sidebar, I grew up on the spinner too, but I always kind of, like, as I went back and looked at history, I was like, what was the belt before this? And so the Undisputed, I'm like, why didn't you guys just keep that?
Dude, when the belt got dropped from Cena to, who did he drop it to? He dropped it to somebody.
I think,
and
wasn't it Rob Van Dam or Edge or somebody?
He dropped it to Edge and they gave him the Rated R spinner, but I'm talking the last time he dropped it. Whoever he had dropped it to, I can't remember who it was, wanted to bring the Undisputed title back. They wanted to bring that look back. They were like, the spinner belt was good for him. That was his character. It was a gimmick title.
True.
Why can't we go back to the old belt? And Vince wouldn't let him do it. He was like, you know, typical Vince, this is such good shit. Yeah, Vince McMahon, it was good shit for John Cena, and the kids got a pop out of it, but what the fuck? And then The Rock debuted the giant fucking W that then got turned into an even bigger fucking W.
And that is true, and people complain about the belts. It's just like,
I will say this, the best looking belt WWE has released in the last 10 years has been those women's tag titles.
Oddly enough, I can see where you're coming from. That, like, okay, so I want to talk about just belts in general. If you had a top 5 of championship titles, this can be in wrestling or mixed martial arts or whatever.
One thing you'll learn about me, I've never been really huge into MMA.
Okay.
I do love watching like knockout highlights.
Same here.
Sometimes just watching people get knocked the fuck out is amazing.
Oh yeah. But so, like, what is your, like your top 5, like your Mount Rushmore? What, in your opinion, are the 5 greatest championship designs in wrestling history?
Are we talking just designs, or are we talking the actual belt and like the lineage of it?
Okay. Let's put,
because that it changes.
Let's put design and lineage combined.
Design and lineage combined. If we're going design and lineage combined, number 1 is the IWGP. Preferably the IWGP V4, but some would say earlier versions have better prestige. Me, IWGP V4 at the top of the list for design and prestige. Right underneath it, Winged Eagle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Third down would be the Big Gold.
Oh, yes.
Fourth down would probably have to be the inmate championship, or just a AAA championship, not AAA,
The
NWA championship. Sorry,
you mean the
not the inmate. That's AWA. I'm
also
getting my ducks mixed up. The
also
Dome Globe.
yes, I agree. I had that replica. My favorite replica. I love that championship.
Dome Globe would be number 4, and number 5 would either have to be the AWA inmate or the probably the WCW World. Until they put it on fucking David Arquette. And they should have never brought the big gold back. Fuck you, WWE. Fuck you, Vince. I'm probably never gonna get a job with you now. But fuck you, Vince, for bringing the big gold back. You ruined a classic title. Now, did I really like it when Batista had it and had a blue backing on it? Also, you can barely find pictures of that belt, but if I've got to get a WWE version of the big gold, I'm getting the one with the blue backing. I used to say I'd get the one with the red backing, and then someone showed me one with the blue backing, and I was like, that's a sexy fucking belt.
Yeah. I want to tell you my top 5 now.
Shit.
Mine's a bit different. I view it from a personal standpoint. Number 1, I would say, is the big gold. Because like the original big gold, like the Crumb Rind big gold that was used all the way until 2001.
Best version of the big gold.
Exactly. That's number 1 because it's the NWA WCW belt. Like, growing up in the South, we always hear about WCW and the NWA, and that to me was my holy grail as a child. I had always wanted that championship. And I still want to get a fondue version, and that's just something I want to do. But number 2,
dude, spring for a boot. I'm sorry to cut you off. If you're gonna get a big gold, spring for a boot. You're gonna spend the same amount of money, get a better quality. Fondues are hollow. They're heavy plates, but they're literally hollow.
Right. Noted. Number 2 for me, I would say the Winged Eagle. I'll agree with you there. The Winged Eagle is probably, to me, I look at it, that is Brett's championship. Nobody else. That's Brett's championship. Okay, Brett, Shawn, and Hogan, I would say.
Nah, Hogan had a class of his own when it came to titles. That motherfucker came out with the 87 Hogan, and oh my god.
87 Hogan is underrated.
Really? Genuine.
Number 3, my personal opinion, is the NWA/WCW US title, because everybody hold that thing, be it like the big US plate design where it had like the shape of the continent on the plate. There's the NWA version, or it was the Reggie. It was like the Reggie Parks US title, kind of like the IC title back in the 80s and 90s. I had that replica and I love it dearly.
You had a Reggie replica, or you had just like a Figs replica?
I got the Figs a replica. That they just put out a new version of the belt on the shop, and I want to get that one.
You may consider it blasphemy then. My company's World Heavyweight Championship
is the Figs version of that.
Is a 5-plater WCW US championship.
I'd love the 5-plater.
It's a boot. It's not a Figs. It's a boot, but it had a botch on it, and I got it for a really fucking good price, and I put vinyl on it, and it became my company's world title. And now there's a replica floating around of it because Blaze went and got a replica made because I wasn't leaving my 4mm championship in a completely other state. Sorry.
I have a question. So my number 4 might shock you. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because my number 4 is probably it's probably the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Dude, I love the Junior Heavyweight belt.
I can't even pick a design of it. It's just like the belt itself. It was hosted some of like the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
I can't disagree with you on that.
I believe, like be it Liger probably being the best kind of example of it.
Dude, people don't give Jushin Thunder Liger the amount of respect he deserves. Okay, but I will say this: his shallow run in NXT was not good.
Oh no.
He came in for 3 matches and then
1 match.
I thought he had more than 1 match, but he came in for 1-2 matches and then became a WWE Hall of Famer. Like, come on, bro.
I think he was inducted more for his outside thing. But okay, and the final one, just to kind of end this quickly, because I have another topic for you. I would say my number 5 most prestigious is probably the shit. How can I not mention? It's probably higher, but the NWA Championship, like that's probably the most prestigious belt because it's the first heavyweight title. Like that's okay, but I want to just get kind of a thing out there. So oftentimes you will hear wrestling fans talk about underrated talent. You know, like you mentioned, like Jushin Liger, not getting his just due. Are there any other names out there in the wrestling world, past, present, future, even that you consider being underappreciated, underrated, overlooked? You know, like
R-Truth. Without a shadow of a doubt, R-Truth.
Thank you for saying that. I've always thought he was underrated.
He is the only recognized he's the first and only NWA World's Heavyweight Champion that was African American.
Indeed.
He was fucking excellent in TNA. The man comes out and does whatever Vince McMahon fucking tells him to, even if it makes him look like the biggest joke on the planet. R-Truth, do I think nowadays he deserves to be WWE Champion? No.
At least like Intercontinental.
But the man has had some excellent fucking tag runs.
Excellent matches.
He has had some great fucking banger of matches. Now, that last U.S. title run he got was only a botch. He only got it because it was a botch on Shinsuke. But still, he became U.S. champion again. He's held every mid-card title WWE has had to offer in the last decade.
True.
I feel like R-Truth should have gotten a little more love than he did.
In my opinion, if it was like 1 month capital punishment, he should have beat Cena for it. At least like 1 month, like a couple weeks. But I'm gonna throw a name at you real quick. Dean Malenko. My opinion, he should be there with Eddie, and I will say his name, Chris Benoit. He should be up there with those two, because Malenko, he didn't have any charisma, but with like Dean Malenko was one of the best wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of wrestling boots, bar none.
All right, so you mentioned Chris Benoit.
Yes.
And I had talked about Jushin Thunder Liger in the Hall of Fame earlier.
Yes.
My big thing is right, we all know what Chris Benoit may or may not have done.
Yes, we do.
And I say it that way because there has been evidence to come out lately that support the possibility of it being a setup. You can hate me in the comments all you fucking want, but I don't personally believe he did it. I think it was a big setup by his former booker, who booked him into a corner and caused Chris Benoit to literally get with his woman and steal his girl. That Chris Benoit literally played Mr. Fucking Steal Your Girl before Mr. Steal Your Girl was cool. I think Chris Benoit belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, I will say this. Most would call what you say controversial. This is the Unfiltered podcast. But see, what I try to do is, and look, you're right. We might never know what happened on those couple of days. Whenever I do think about Chris Benoit, I try to think about him. Like, I'm not saying that what he may or may not have did was a good thing. It's never a good thing.
No, God, no.
No, I would never ever support him. Like, I don't support Chris Benoit the man, but as a wrestling fan, I look back on Chris Benoit, the professional wrestler, and I think he's one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. The man knew how to make things look good, and it's a shame what all happened, and I'm never going to defend the man. I'm never going to try to justify his wrestling career. I personally believe that injuries in his head got to him. That's just my personal opinion, but
everybody's entitled to their personal opinion. Like, that's another big thing this day and age, is nobody really lets anybody have an opinion anymore. It's either you're right or you're wrong, and if you're wrong, fuck you, you know. And that's the one thing that makes like doing these podcasts and stuff hard with a lot of people, because they'll come onto your podcast and then bash you for your opinion.
The Unfiltered podcast will be right back.
And now we're back from commercial. We're here with Dale Litton, Captain Law,
Hi.
Jackson Law. Now we're going to get off the topic of wrestling for a second. And have you any other hobbies besides
As
wrestling?
I had mentioned earlier, I do the Nerf stuff.
Oh yeah.
I run and this is going to sound horrible because I'm a fat white guy that was the lonely kid in school. I run around the park and shoot people for fun. Now let me phrase that. I shoot them with foam during a scheduled event, but still I run around the park and shoot people. Now, I said that when I got my job at Target, my first job, we had a group meeting in the back with all the new hires, and they were like, we're going to get to know everybody. What's one thing you do? And I didn't think about it. It just came off the top of my head. Yeah, I run around the park and shoot people.
No.
Me being the guy that worked at the front, checking everyone's bags because we were during remodel and I was the door guard,
Oh yeah.
I got some looks.
I would say so. Very unfortunate the way you worded it.
Yeah.
I had an experience similar to that one time in school. Of course,
Well, I've got a story to tell you when you're done.
You grow up in a kind of isolated kind of piece of shit town. Like you're
Indiana.
Oh, I have family in Indiana. Don't you worry. But growing
Well,
up,
you're a Tennessee boy. Of course, you've got family in Indiana.
Of course,
everybody from Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee has some kind of family in Indiana.
Very true. But my experience was kind of one day we were talking about. This is really funny. So I have a friend.
It starts with I have a friend.
Okay, so I have a friend, and he'll probably listen to this podcast. I'm not going to say his name. I'll say his screen name. He's not a wrestler. His name. So I'm refer to him as Zenny, and he probably don't even know this story. But one day I was talking to a classmate over email in the classroom because you can't have your phones, and we were stupid. And I was talking about Zenny, and Zenny at that time had a bit of an anger problem. Now he's the chillest guy alive, but
that's how it usually works.
He had such a big anger problem, and we always used to talk about it. And I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do, man. I was like typing it out, right? And I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's really angry. He's always talking about something about school, and the front office could view what we say to each other. I don't know how it worked, but about an hour later, I get a call into the guidance counselor's office. And
oh, lovely!
I'm sitting in this chair, right? And they're like, "So, Jake, we heard that you talking to so and so about this about Zenny. Tell me, does he have any homicidal thoughts?" And I was like, what? I'm like, is he going to shoot the school up?
Blunt and direct.
This is a 53-year-old woman talking to me now. And I'm like, why would he do that? I'm like, I mean, you were typing it out. You just want to make sure. I'm like, listen, I know that he's an angry person. I know that he's not the most well put together person. And Zenny, I say that with love. But at the time, none of us were well put together.
Now, you say that, and I would have been the kid that in that office sitting there like, I don't know, maybe. Hey, you'll have to ask him. How the fuck do I know?
If they would have Zenny would have been like, what?
But no, I have actually a really similar story, except in this story, I am Zenny. So, during school, right after I had started getting some friends, I got involved in robotics. Vex robotics.
Do you know what's funny? Zenny was into robotics.
Nice.
Dude, this is starting to get weird.
And little do you know I'm Zenny. But anyway, we're sitting there in class one day, right? And my school doesn't have air conditioning at the time. They're
Wow.
they're building the other side of the school. So that hallway didn't have that. Like my high school for the first year and a half was one hallway. Actually, my entire 4 years of high school was one hallway. We're not going to talk about how small that fucking school was. IMSA North, baby. Anyway, and people will look at a picture of the building and be like, "That's not one hallway." Look at the right side of the building and see how it like has a weird dip in the middle. That dip in the middle starts the hallway. Anyway, I'm sitting there in class, right? It's I want to say 9th, 10th grade. I'm sitting in Miss Porter's class. Miss Porter, by the way, if you ever hear this, I hated you, I loved you, but I fucking hated you.
Oh my god.
No, I'll get into a little bit later about my relationship with Miss Porter.
We getting really unfiltered this evening.
Now, I'm sitting in class, right?
Yeah.
And it's hot as balls. I happen to have a DC motor, a button switch, a 9-volt battery, and a propeller.
Oh yeah.
With it being hot as shit, what do you think I'm getting ready to make?
You're gonna make a little fan, right?
Yes, 100%. Literally the size of my hand.
Well, Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today.
There's a country. Anyway, by the way, I have a question for you. Speaking of Phineas and Ferb, do you know the name of Phineas and Ferb's sister?
I'm not gonna say it. I know this is no. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, Dale.
Fuck. Okay. Anyway, back to the story, right? My teacher walks up because someone had walked up to her. Like it's dead silent. We're in the middle of a test. I'm done with my test. I got the test done really quickly. No wonder I failed. Anyway, tangent. That's why I had to take Algebra 2 twice. Anyway, I walk up, right, and I'm sitting in my seat, and I'm making my fan, right. One of the girls walks up. Now, mind you, I'm the only white kid in this school in my class up until 11th grade.
Oh wow.
And I went there from 6th grade up to 12th. I graduated from there from 6th grade. It was a K-12 school.
Oh yeah.
One of the girls from the class who sits beside me walks up and tells Miss Porter something, like very softly. I get called up to the front office about 5 minutes later.
Oh Lord.
They have confiscated my fan. The police are sitting in the office questioning me about why I'm building a bomb in class.
What?
Now, mind you, I'm looking at them like they're fucking retarded. And I hate that R word, by the way. But I'm looking at them like they're fucking retarded. Because it's a DC motor with a 9-volt, a button switch, and a propeller. All black sticking out as the propeller giving me wind. I never got that fan back.
So they somewhere.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I got it graduation day.
Did they give it back to you graduation day?
We had a different dean then. On graduation day, I got my fan back and a pink slip piece of paper that I had wrote a really nasty note on when the dean expelled the girl I was trying to get with. Anyway, and somehow he got a hold of the note and held it over my head for the rest of the year.
There needs to be a separate podcast just you telling these stories because we would be.
Dude, I got some fucking wild IMSA story. I got stories about how I damn near got stabbed twice.
Oh. Well,
if I get a nickel for every time I get stabbed, I'd have 2 nickels. It's weird that it happened twice, but it did.
I want to let you finish this, and I want to talk to you about something else, but I want to hear the end of this.
But like it was fucking wild. And on graduation day, I got the fan back, and all of a sudden, the dean walks up to me after graduation ceremony's over, and after I take all the pictures and everything I need to, because I'm supposed to be there the next day helping with the kindergarten through 12th, because I was also a student ambassador.
Oh yeah.
And he walks up to me, right? He's like, I figured you'd want these back, and hands me a baggie with my pink note in it and the fucking fan. And for a minute there, I didn't realize what the fan was, and then I was like, holy shit.
There's the bomb.
Let's say that graduation ceremony was the bomb.
Okay,
Anyway, yeah, that's my one of my freaky high school stories, and I've got quite a fucking.
so okay. Speaking of graduation stories, this is a podcast about everything. Do you want to hear a funny graduation story from me about my high school graduation?
Please shoot the shit.
Oh God. Okay, so I want to paint you kind of a picture of what my hometown is. I'm not going to give any names about my hometown. You know the name, but I'm not going to tell you.
TBW.
Different story time.
But I'm talking about like town wise. TBW. Same town.
Same town as TBW.
Okay.
Okay. So this town is what I'm going to call. It's not the smartest town in the world.
Well, look who runs the backyard wrestling show out of it. TBW.
Well, then again,
this is your podcast, and you didn't throw the shot. I would like to make everybody realize I threw the shot. You
won't hear many shots on this, but okay. Anyway, the town's not too bright, right? Our principal for my 4 years. Okay, so the principal was a noted clown. He had been beaten by his wife for having an affair with the junior high's assistant principal. It was a big. It was really funny. He got thrown into a metal shelf, and then he called the cops on her. It was hilarious. But anyway, so this guy's doing this big speech about how I love this class, when a couple months before he had called that whole class the biggest group of idiots he ever heard. That's a different story. So he's shaking everybody's hand. He gives him my diploma. He and I had been cordial. We never had anything wrong with each other. So I had my graduation night. Everything's fine. I'm like, finally, this shit's over. So I go to sleep, right? Wake up, and all over the news and all over Facebook, all over everything, is that guy had COVID when he went to the graduation. And he gave me my diploma. So I was quarantined in the house for about 2 weeks in the midsummer of June, right? And there were two kind of contingents of students, right? There were the popular kids who were defending him, calling him a family man who had made a mistake, and then there was the rest of the student body who wanted to murder this man.
Yeah, dude. Wait. Anyway, wait till I get to the stories about the racist team.
Oh God. Okay, but it was so bad that he had to resign, and then he eventually ran out of town.
Motherfucker done be like, this is the worst town I have ever been to.
Oh, you ain't seen Gallatin, but that's a inside reference to another town close by us. But okay, that was. I remember that night, the kid that nobody liked showed up stoned, drunk, and everything else, wearing jorts and a cut-off t-shirt.
Crossfade, baby.
No, he was drunk as a skunk. He was like, everything. He's from racial slurs, homophobic slurs. Okay,
I'm not laughing at the slurs. I'm laughing at the fucking drunk impression you did, by the way.
Okay, but so there's a 6'6" gay guy, right?
Oh God.
Okay, so he is a good guy. He's about as nice as you can possibly get. He's what we call a he's just a good guy, right? And he looks at this guy. I'm not going to say his name. He's like, honey, so help me God, as I stand here in this shitty ass robe, you say that word one more time, I'm going to throw you through this damn window. His voice is like a combination of Medea and Dusty Rhodes.
I was getting ready to say you sounded like a flamboyant Dusty Rhodes.
He's like, listen here, Daddy. See, I'm gonna whip Cody's ass. I'm gonna whip your ass. I'm a little sprinkle of that little stardust on him, Daddy. But
you getting ready to figure out what hard times it's, honey?
You about to see what hard times is, Daddy. But so this guy, it's like the guy that was talking all this shit. He looked at me and went, "Jake, I know your daddy. I'll beat you up, boy. I'll beat you up." And I'm like, "I bet you will, String Bean. I bet you will." Anyway, that I have a lot of funny stories, but I would like to quickly move on from personal stories, and I want to ask you one simple question.
One simple question?
One simple question. I want you to be honest.
Okay.
What is the craziest moment you've experienced in backyard wrestling? Because I'll tell mine, and then I want you to tell yours, and I'll tell mine. We're gonna have some funny story time.
Craziest moment I've experienced. Are we talking like personal or what I've seen? Like, what are we talking here? Personal for me.
What you've seen. I want to know, like, what's like an incident.
An incident I've seen. Okay.
Yes, because I have a funny story to tell you. After this.
We all know my history with Gunshot.
Give a little background on Gunshot for those who don't know.
String Bean skinny kid. We don't talk about what he did, but you know.
The Unfiltered podcast will be right back.
Can't keep going to commercial, damn. We can't keep going to commercial.
Hey, it's unfiltered, dude.
It's unfiltered, yes, but
anyway,
it could become the canceled podcast after one episode.
Anyway, back to the flash forward, right? It's invading Indiana. It is Captain Law versus Kurt Adams versus Caden versus Gunshot in a fatal 4-way match.
Shout out Caden.
Yeah, shout out Caden. Go
shout
pro.
Out Caden.
You're doing the fucking shit, my G. Anyway,
get him on this show
for the CXG Hardcore Championship. Now, there was also the title of Best in the Yard on the line. This video did not make the full show, and it did not make the full show for reasons. A, the match was dog fucking shit.
Okay.
Like, the spots that we planned out that were supposed to happen didn't happen. It started raining. It was a shit show.
You gotta hate when that happens.
It was also never supposed to be an elimination match. It was supposed to be one fall to the finish, fatal 4-way. Kurt Adams was supposed to go over and become the CXG Hardcore Champion and the quote-unquote best in the yard. And he was going to take a big old fucking shit on Matt Thunder. He was going to hit a double Claymore kick on me and Caden and pin us both. And at the bottom of his shoes, he was going to wear white Vans, and it was going to say, "Fuck MT" on the bottom of his shoes.
Oh, wow.
And then he cut this fucking heated promo about being the best in the yard and how he's the backbone of the show. All that shit. Anyway, the ending kind of happened. But midway through the match, right, and this match was shit. Like, we were all over the place. Caden literally started fucking playing baseball in the middle of the match.
What?
So where we were filming at, there happened to be a apple tree, and I was using a baseball bat as a weapon, and Caden was like, "Fuck it." I was like, I used to play softball, so I know how to play I know how to hit a ball with a bat. So he fucking threw the crab apples at me. I missed the first two. He threw the third one. I fucking knocked that shit out of the park, but of course it was a plastic barbed wire bat versus a heavy fucking crab apple, so it didn't hit it very far.
Okay, so you're telling me that during a match you guys played crab apple baseball.
Crab apple barbed wire baseball, bat baseball. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Anyway, and no, it's not as grand as it fucking may sound.
Okay.
Anyway, partway through the match, right? Now, one thing you got to learn about Gunny is he's a habitual liar.
Is this the same as a habitual line stepper?
You fucking idiot. God damn it.
One thing about Rick James is he's an habitual line stepper. I'm sorry, keep going.
Fucking hell. Anyway, he's a habitual liar, and I'll send you the video later so you can watch it.
Please send me the video.
I don't think I have the uncut version anymore. I think I have the version that edited a lot of that out. If I have the uncut version, I'll find it and send it to you.
All right.
But anyway, me, Kurt, and Caden all kind of look at each other after I had hit Christian with some kind of move, and we're like, you know what we must do, right? We're all just kind of looking at each other like, there's three of us, one of him. You know what we must do. So Kurt stands on one side, Caden stands on the other side. I say, fuck you, Nick, because he's a big Roman mark. Do the
Did you guys do the?
They lift Caden up onto my shoulders, or Gunny onto my shoulders. Now, mind you, the entire time we're doing this, you can verbally hear Caden say, and you think you could get away with lying to us?
The Unfiltered podcast will be right back.
We're gonna come back from commercial now. We're still talking with Dale Litton. He's gonna finish. Don't laugh. He's gonna finish the powerbomb story.
We get done. We powerbomb Christian, right? And remember, I told you this wasn't supposed to be an elimination match.
Oh no, definitely not.
Christian is laying on the ground in the fetal position. And when I tell you, I have never heard guttural moans from somebody like this. This guy is laying on the ground. Now remember, I had told you at one point that Christian does not sell to save his life.
Does he not?
Oh God, no. I hit the dude with a light tube over the back and he just stood up.
Oh no. To keep it so like you powerbomb him onto the ground at full force and he's moaning like a guttural whale.
And I look at him on the ground. I look at Thomas and I look at Caden and I go, Mama, I just killed a man.
This match sounds like the most like shit post match.
It was an awful fucking match.
Okay, I have a question. It's just a simple question. Do you want to hear the story of how Atomic Titan got shit-faced drunk in Gage Flair's front yard?
Yes! We have to fucking hear this story.
Okay, this is a never-told story. So I want you to picture kind of the setting. It was late September, right?
It was a late September evening.
It was a late September evening. It was a bonfire at Gage Flair's house. It was Ledger, Gage Flair, me, and Atomic Titan. Right? So I'm going to refer to them. So Ledger will be known as Taff, Gage is Gage, and Titan is Troy. Right? So Flair, Taft, and Troy and myself are sitting in a circle around a little campfire, right? And I have my guitar. We're having a good time. Rare, but a good time. So it's probably about 5, right? And all of a sudden I hear like I look over and Titan has those Twisted Tea lemon beer.
Oh God!
So he drinks. I'm like, Troy, you know you shouldn't be drinking. It's like, I don't really care, bro. I'm gonna get drunk tonight, bro. I really don't care, bro.
That just sounds like him.
So I'm like, oh, okay. And Gage was like, he's gonna get drunk. And Taft's like, I don't give a shit. So
the fucking emo kid. Yeah, I'm getting to the end.
That's just what he was. So the night kind of goes on, and so Taft gets in his car, goes somewhere for a little bit, then he comes back. And he brings him more beer. So also Josh was Big Dog was in the hospital, right? So it's about 8 now. Troy has had 3 of these, and he's hammered, and he's just smackered. He's just gone, right?
Okay.
Troy grabs Gage's phone from out of his pocket and dials the hospital.
Oh no!
And calls Josh in his room. There's a video of it somewhere, probably in the TBW group chat still to this day. And it's like, okay, this is the phone call. He called about 8 times. but the first time was the most cookie. He's like, "Hey, Josh, brother, it's Atomic Titan." Lol. He said lol. It's like, hey,
Hold on. Do you still you're not in the TBW chat anymore, obviously, but was it a messenger chat?
It was a messenger chat.
You do realize you can still go back and read the old messages, right?
I know. I can. And I might try to find it one day. But look. So he's got Josh on speakerphone, right? And it's like 8. Josh is tired. I think it was like COVID, right? So
right.
Josh is like, brother, why are you calling here, brother? Don't call here, brother. Don't. Troy's like, Troy, I might come break you out of the hospital, McMahon style. And he hangs up and he starts crying. He's laying on the grass. He's like in a fetal position, kind of like gunshot was. He was like, "Why do I drink, bro? Why do I drink?" I'm like, "Why do you drink?" It's a good question. He's like, "I'm depressed." So at this point, the Beast had shown up.
Oh no!
And Beast was like, "Now, why is he on the ground crying?" And I'm like, "Brother, I really don't know." Flair's laughing the whole time. Taft is sitting there like, I don't give a shit. And Titan's like,
we've seen it.
I want to go home, bro. Please drive me home. Sound like some kind of old man from like an old cartoon. And then he starts crying, and he sounds like Courage the Cowardly. I was like, ooh. I'm like, am I the DD? And Flair's like, yeah, you're the DD. Mark is like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
He's like, hey, I'm having none of this.
And then Taft is like, I don't give a shit, bro. Come on, I'll take you to town, right? So it's like 10 now, and I'm on my way back. I get home, and immediately when I step in the front door, my phone starts vibrating, and it's Troy.
Oh God!
I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen here? And he's like, hey, bro, it's Troy. I got fucked up. It hangs up. And that is one of a number of TBW stories.
So, I have my own TBW story.
Oh, okay. Question: Is it okay?
You're like, is it? I don't know how to ask this, but spit it out, boy.
I've promised. Okay, I've done too much shooting. I don't want to shoot no more.
It's not.
Is it a funny story?
It's kind of yeah.
I don't want shooting.
It's not shooting, but okay. So, for those of you who don't know about TBW, at this time they had someone behind the scenes that was their watchdog or guard dog or gatekeeper, whatever the fuck he called himself. I don't remember the guy's name, but I get a message out of the blue. Heard you were talking shit. Now, me being the promo artist I am.
Wait. Have you seen the picture of like that big fat kid trailer? It's like the big gold bell. Be like, bro, I heard your bitch ass was talking.
I remade that picture. I found it in my Google Photos. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But, so anyway, I get a message. Heard you was talking shit. I was like, pray tell, who was I talking shit on? And they were like, just don't talk shit about TBW anymore. I'm like, or what?
Or what?
They were like, they had said a bunch of shit, right? And I'm in a group call with my promo guys, and at the time, my tag team partner, the Mad Dog Dan Moore, who's an indie guy who also owns land in Tennessee.
Small world.
So he knows how to deal with some of these roughneck, rowdy, redneck, hick, hillbilly.
I will agree.
Wannabe thug Tennessee boys.
When was this? Because depending on when it is, we could have dealt with the same guy.
If I could go back and find the messages, I'll tell you. But it was like early this year, late last year.
I might know who you're talking about.
Anyway, so flash forward, right? He keeps talking shit, and I'm on the phone. So my friend Dan's like, make a group chat. I was like, oh god. So I make a group chat. Me, him, and Dan.
Oh no.
And this guy, now Dan comes in as if he's interested in competing.
Okay.
He starts getting details about TBW, right? And the guy flips his shit. Like, blink of a guy, he goes from weird thug gangster to be like, aight, what you trying to do, bro? You trying to come in or not?
Wait. I don't know if this is... I'll ask you this later, but I might know who you're talking about.
And Dan starts trolling the shit out of him in that chat, right? Yeah. He is just trolling the everyone, but the guy ends up saying, I'm gonna roll up. And me and Dan were both consecutively in the chat like, no, we're gonna roll up.
Habitual line stepper. That's what this is.
I was like, drop the address. Where do we need to show up for this to happen? Because this dude was challenging us to a full-on shoot fight.
Shoot fight?
Yeah, a full-on shoot fight. So, if anybody would like to have the address to where TBW filmed...
No.
I don't have it anymore, but I did at one point.
I mean, technically, I could give it out, but I'm not going to give it out.
Jake's like, no. This is unfiltered, but no.
No.
And as we're bridging on almost an hour here, ladies and gentlemen, this is how I almost got into a shoot fight for the first time with a TBW person.
No.
Anyway, I get on an Instagram live like a week later with Titan, Flair, and Josh. This is when Josh was like big with doing the Instagram lives.
I remember that.
And obviously, like, I'm not gonna be a douchebag and go into your live and talk shit on your company. Like, I wanted to work at one point. I wanted to work for TBW. I've always admitted that. And I've said the exact same thing to his face. I looked at him and I said, by the way, your backstage gatekeeper, if he ever steps to me again, I'm going to knock him the fuck out. Wait a minute. I told Josh that to his face. And then I started cutting promos on anybody in the comments that was talking shit. And Josh is a big gunshot fan, whatever the fuck you want to call him. So... obviously, when all the shit went down with Gunshot, the attempt to work for TBW got severed there because of Josh. So that was the first time I almost got into a shoot fight. Then I joined the live, and I'm talking shit with him, and I'm trying to rebuild that connection. I talked to Josh a little bit behind the scenes. Flash forward to them bringing in a certain metallic motherfucker.
Metallic.
You know who you are.
Metallic?
Let's just say there was a big conspiracy about 9/11 about what the building was made out of and the fact that it could or could not have melted under the heat of jet fuel.
What's it have to do with what?
Think about it. I'm trying not to name names because I'm trying not to be the guy, but...
you can tell me later. This is taking a different turn.
Anyway, so this guy happens to also do promos. We're in a group called IGPW. As I told you earlier before we jumped into the podcast, I was their final world champion.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so I'm on the podcast and I get fucking this dude. I get him. I don't get to fucking him. Sorry. Pause. Hold up. Backtrack.
Pause.
I get him.
Hold on. We're gonna have a commercial in that place.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. And we're back with good old Dale Litton, Captain Law. He ended up fucking somebody. Dale, what's the story?
Anyway, this guy, and no, I wasn't fucking anybody. Correction. I got him fucking pissed. Now, mind you, this dude is cross-faded right now. He is high. He's cutting promos, and I get him pissed. I kept cutting him off. I was being a douchebag heel. I kept cutting him off, cutting his audio. I had the owner of the group kick him from the live just to bring him back in. And then this is what set him off, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not worth my time, and I act like I leave the live. The owner of the group pulls me off the live. And we had a hand sign for when I wanted to come onto the live. I would throw a peace sign and he'd add my camera feed back into the live because we use StreamYard.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Anthony's in the middle of... Damn it, I said his name! Fuck! Fuck! Well, that guy is in the middle of cutting a really heated promo on me. Like, he's pissed, right? And I throw up the peace sign, have him bring me back into live, and turn my music on my TV, blare it loud as shit, do my entrance again, cut my music.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 3:00 in the morning, and you are getting raw.
It was coincidentally, it was 2 or 3 in the morning when we did this live.
Okay, but just to let everybody know right now, it is 3:00 in the morning, and we are right now both raw. Please keep telling the story. I just want to remind everybody of that.
He's fucking crossfaded, right? Like, he's drunk, he's high, he's pissed. I come in and cut him off. You fucking N-word!
What?
Live on Facebook.
What? Brother, why?
We kick him out of the live because this guy claims to have grown up in the ghetto and has the past to do it. Now, I have someone who has grown up in the ghetto who says that guy is really just fake shit.
Oh, so like, who said it? Did you say it?
No, God, no. Jesus Christ, no.
Did he say it?
Yeah, he said it.
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
The Unfiltered podcast will be right back.
Back once again with Captain Lawdale Litton, and we're going to end this podcast. We got a little bit heavy. We're going to end this off in a funny way.
Monkey.
Let's talk about the monkeys, because that's a thing. And if you don't know what we're going to refer to, it's when on the Sweet Tasty Balls channel, there's a video called Apes Unite.
Hell of a fucking name, by the way.
Thank Benjamin Bray for that name. He'll listen to this. And
fuck you, Benji. I don't know you, but fuck you.
He might like that. I'm gonna let you try that one more time. But
hey Benji, you're a fucking bitch.
We're not gonna keep that part. But there was a video of 2 monkeys with what you call a yellow duct taped network logo championship belt.
It looked like Super Monkey Ball.
That's because it
for anybody who knows that fucking game. God, that game is so fucking bad, but so fucking good at the same time. Super Monkey Ball was a classic.
We're gonna fight over that later, but okay. You had a question to me. What's with the monkeys?
Yeah, like Jerry Seinfeld's "What's the deal with airplane food?
Okay,
What's the deal with the fucking monkeys?"
So you've noticed in UWA that you will occasionally get sightings from monkeys.
Yeah, it's like y'all went to the Congo of Africa and was like, "Let me get your finest primate."
And we did, because we have the pizza ape. Okay, we have the pizza ape. We had the safari ape who got killed by Joe Anderson, that fucker. Killed. R.I.P. Safari ape. Mama, I love you. P.O.P. Hold it down.
Hold it down. I could not drive the getaway car. I was legally blind.
And we have the banana ape. Ape who humped the belt. Yeah. And then finally there was the retail ape.
I sympathize with retail ape.
So listen, You're probably wondering, what the fuck was that? And let me tell you what that was. When the banana ape threw the belt up against a tree, you don't understand how funny it was to all of us.
See, here's the thing. Sorry. About that entire scenario. A, it was fucking hilarious.
Did
B,
you like when he ran away with like the Stone Cold theme song?
Yes.
I love that part.
The belt mark in me was pissed that y'all threw a belt against a tree. Like, I loved and hated. Or sorry, the monkeys threw.
Oh, that was the banana ape. He threw the belt up against the tree, set to Ice Cube's No Vaseline.
Well, you know what? Banana ape. Ladies and gentlemen of this podcast.
There's nobody.
My name is Captain Law. I'm the Lord of the Lord. Oh my God. Hell, I'm tired. I mess it up. You know it's bad when you mess up your own fucking intro. And I'm sober. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Captain Law, and I'm the law of the land, the Lord and Savior of the promo land, and the most legendary man to ever grace your ears. And I seen some banana-wielding, ape-wearing, monkey-fucking brother-cousin lover out there in Tennessee throwing a belt against a tree, and I've got to ask why. Why would a monkey throw a belt against a tree, and then I've got to remember who was doing it? It was that fucking banana ape. Well, banana ape, listen here, boy. You have been out of your cage for long enough, causing too many problems, eating too many bananas, and that potassium has gone to your head.
Oh, wait, whoa. I want to stop you right there. I'm going to clear up 3 things, alright? 1, banana ape does not speak English. 2, he does not eat bananas. You wanna know what he eats? It's the same thing that we feed to Disco Hefe. We feed him stale bread, and they eat stale bread. And number 3, he doesn't have an iPhone. He doesn't have a computer. He lives in the woods.
Well, either way, banana ape, you might not eat bananas, but you wear a banana, you look like a banana, and I'm gonna peel your limb from fucking limb, and that potassium is gonna go straight to your head, and the vitamin D named Dale Captain Law Litton is gonna stick his fucking size 13 boot straight up your Rudy Poo banana peeling ass, and you're gonna be playing peanut butter jelly time because I'm gonna be slipping and sliding my fists all over your monkey face, and I'm gonna lock you back up in the zoo where you belong because I am the law of the land. Don't ask why I fucking cut a promo on the banana. I don't know.
He's not from the zoo. He's from Banana Land.
Well, he belongs in the zoo, that fucking animal.
We don't have a zoo.
Are you sure about that?
Listen, he's a part of the monkey world order, okay? You can't diss him. By the way, go to ewa.spreadshot.com to get your monkey shirts.
The fucking shameless plug. Oh my God. The MWO shirts. Well, guess what? If you all want a really, really nice shirt, don't go to the MWO shirts. Go over to lawbrand.threadless.com and pick yourself up a Captain Law shirt. Some of the finest merch you'll get.
And with that, what I'm going to call this podcast, this is the first episode, and it's already been chaotic as shit. So I say we are on the right track. I want you to plug anything you got to plug, your social media, YouTube channels.
Just the usual. Go, if you look for me on YouTube, just look up Captain Law, and you'll find basically anything. You'll find my main channel, that's for sure. You probably won't find my wrestling channel anymore just because of things. Look up Ultimate Awesomeness Wrestling. That's my alma mater company, as I'll call it. Critical Backyard Wrestling. Young Breakout Wrestling. I'm their general manager. I have a lot of hats. I'm the commentator for Skullbuster Wrestling, SBW. Let's see. My gaming channel, Law Clan Gaming. Try to fit all the shameless plugs in here. Lawclan.threadless.com, Legendary Promo Wars on Facebook, all that good shit. And Captain Law Talks here on Anchor. Anchor.fm/Captain Law Talks.
And you'll all know me, Jake Kempf. You can follow me either on my personal account, which is I think it's Jake Kempf _. You can follow me on the Jake Howell account, which is Jake Howell _1. You can follow UWA, which is Underground Wrestling Alliance. UWA has a YouTube channel, the same name. You got Spreadshirt. Thinking about having UWA TikTok. Probably will not happen because we're not going to have monkeys running around on TikTok fucking belts. This has been the first episode of the Unfiltered podcast, and for some comments, it may be the last.
Before we get out of here, I have one question for you.
What is that question?
What is your wrestling name?
My wrestling name?
Yeah, what is your wrestling name?
Why do you ask?
Because I want to plug it to the fans real quick. What's your wrestling name?
Jake Howell.
It doesn't matter what your wrestling name is.
You motherfucker. Anyway, this has been the Unfiltered podcast. For Dale Litton, I'm Jake Kemp, and we will see you all maybe sometime down the road. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, doesn't matter. Enjoy life.